Wallace and Gromit, Most Fowl is the brand new Netflix film that just hit the streaming service. This is the first film into the Wallace and Gromit franchise since 2005's Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Now taking over, voicing over Wallace is Ben Whitehead. This is a follow-up as Feathers McGraw is now in prison, which is the zoo, and Wallace and Gromit are back to their usual ways, and Wallace is looking for another invention, which is a Norbot, a gnome that can come into your place and basically fix up all of your plants and your garden. But it seems like Wallace is relying too much on technology, as it does seems like Gromit is opposed to that, and the gnomes, out of nowhere, for some odd reason, are now having brains of their own. The film is an hour and 19 minutes and is a PG. Welcome back to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinenberg. We're talking Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. So new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do movie and TV show reviews, movie rankings as well, out of theater reactions, and box office breakdowns. So sorry about that. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on this film? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Is this the first time you've seen a Wallace and Gromit film, or you, like me, grew up with this franchise and are excited to see it back? Do you want to see another film? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please like the video. So I was over the moon for this movie because I grew up watching the short films of Wallace and Gromit and The Curse of the Were-Rabbit on loop in my childhood. I was addicted to watching the Wallace and Gromit shorts. Even when I was like 4 or 5 years old, what got me into like liking cheese, for example. This was a key point of my childhood. And it's crazy that it's basically taken 19, 20 years to get another film. Again, the last film came out when I was 3 years old, and here we are now 20 years later talking about another Wallace and Gromit film. So even though this released in England, some other areas in 2024, this will count as my first official film of 2025. So its release date for Netflix is hit the new year. So overall, this was an absolute return to form. Aardman, as a stop animation studio, has really struggled over the last 10 years with their last couple of films, especially like Chicken Run 2, for example. Really, since Arthur Christmas for me was the last movie like I really enjoyed from them. Aardman is a studio that's obviously behind Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Rabbit, as well as Chicken Run, Flushed Away, Arthur Christmas, as I just mentioned. A lot of really good animated films in the early 2000s, but really have not made great films since. But this feels like the perfect follow-up to Curse of the Were-Rabbit. This is a delightful 82 minutes on Netflix that I do think it rewards you a lot for being a fan of this franchise. I chuckled. I haven't had a smile on my face that big watching a movie in a really long time. And I'm meaning by that is I just couldn't take a smile off my face throughout the entire film. We've come also, before we get to the story and the characters, we've come such a long way with animation, and a lot of, sadly, we just don't get a lot of stop motion animated films anymore. It's my honestly favorite medium to watch. I grew up with amazing stop motion animated films, and a lot of them still, a couple, like once every couple years get made, but it is just jaw-dropping to watch. There's no other film making, in my opinion, that you can respect more so than the people who make these stop motion animated films. It takes over a year just to shoot the film and make the film. It's hundreds upon hundreds of workers and designers to put all of this together. And it's just mind-blowing to watch, not just where the technology is today, but the hard work that hundreds of workers do to put these type of movies together. And this movie is gorgeous. It is one of the most best looking stop motion animation films we've ever gotten. The little details, some things feel even more real than they used to be in stop motion. So I do want to say right off the bat, it is a gorgeous film that feels so immersive and lived in. Now, yes, this is a easy slapstick 80 minutes. I like the idea of now, Wallace is a creator. It's actually a really good idea, especially in a time now where we're talking about AI and are we afraid of now technology being an even bigger factor in society? It honestly makes for a perfect Wallace and Gromit story, and why Wallace and Gromit could be on separate sides of an argument, as Wallace is a creator. He lives on his technology and on his creations, but he might go too far in believing that every technology, everything is made for good intentions. And that's where Gromit comes in, who kind of doubts Wallace throughout the entire film. And I actually really enjoyed the writers of the film using kind of today's society on where we are with AI and just technology in general and putting that in a Wallace and Gromit story. I think it fits really well. The Norbots are fantastic here. They're both funny, adorable, and obviously quite evil towards the middle half of the movie. Feathers McGraw is a fantastic villain. If you're an Aardman diehard like me, you know the lineage of Feathers McGraw and how impactful he is to that studio. And he is hilarious in this film with a lot of good, obviously Feathers does not talk, but a lot of good motions that made me crack up. He's easily one of the more entertaining villains that Wallace and Gromit have had to go up against in this franchise. It's a really fast 80 minutes. Like when I saw the movie was ending, I was like, wow, that was one of the quickest movies I felt. Even movies where that are 90 minutes feel like 90 minutes a lot of the time. This feels like a 45-minute short, but it's double the time. It's really high energy, very funny, with a really good message out there, not just for kids, but also adults. And obviously the friendship between Wallace and Gromit is here, which I really enjoyed. On a story level, I would say the only thing that I just didn't really care that much about was kind of the police subplot. We get into the chief, who's voiced by Peter Kay, and PC, I forget her name, played by Lauren Patel. I think they had too much screen time in the movie. We would kind of cut back and forth between what Wallace and Gromit are doing and then what the cops are doing for this investigation. And I do think that the bit with the chief just didn't really land for me. Out of all the comedy, that subplot just did not work for me. But overall, when we focus in on Wallace and Gromit, it's a really fun time. It really brought me back to being a 4, 5, 6-year-old growing up, watching these short films and Curse the Were-Rabbit. And I usually I don't get to feel that way anymore. So this was a bright spot and a perfect way for me to start 2025. So overall, I'm going to give Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Fowl a 4 out of 5 stars and 83%. What are your thoughts on Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Fowl? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.